Welcome to this video. Azure Static Web App is a cloud service provided by Microsoft Azure. This video, we will look at how we can create Azure Static Web App and how we can deploy an Angular application using Azure DevOps. Additionally, Azure Static Web Apps support the use of custom domains. This means we can associate our domain name with the Azure Static Web App. First, we will create a static web app. Then we will set up Azure DevOps repository. After that, we will create an Angular application and we will push the code into repository. Then we will create a CI/CD pipeline and we will deploy using this CI/CD pipeline. Finally, we will do the custom domain configuration. Before we are going to start, we need to install Visual Studio Code in our local machine. We need an Azure subscription and one Azure DevOps account. Then we need to install Angular CLI and Git. Finally, we need a domain. First, we will create a static web app using Azure portal. We need to log into Azure portal. Create a resource. Under web category, you can see static web app. Now, static web app creation page is loaded. Under the basics tab, we need to select a subscription and we need to create a new resource group, or we can select existing one. Here I am going to create a new resource group. We need to provide a name for our static app. Currently, we have a two type of hosting plan is available. I am going to select free. Next, we need to select a region. I am going to select East Asia. Deployment details, for time being, we can select others. I am going to click review and create. Now it's validating. Now validation is completed. Before we are going to create, we can verify the details. If everything is fine, we can click create button. It will take few seconds to complete the deployment. Now deployment is completed. Go to resource. This is the overview page of our static web app. In the right hand corner, you can see the URL. We are going to click that URL. Now site is loaded with the default page. We will create a repository inside Azure DevOps. We need to open Azure DevOps portal. This is the Azure DevOps portal. I have already created an organization. Under that, we are going to create a new project. Now, project is created. I am taking repos from left side menu. This is our default repository. Adding git ignore file for Visual Studio. Next, we will create an Angular application and then we will push the code into the repository. We need to clone the repository. By default, Visual Studio Code ID is selected. We can see different types of IDs are available here. It will open the Visual Studio Code. We need to provide the file path. It will take few seconds. Now cloning is completed. We will create an Angular application. Open the terminal window. We are using Angular CLI. ng new static web app. It will take few seconds to complete the download. Package download is completed. We will try to run the application. We need to navigate inside the folder ng serve -o. It will take few seconds. Now the application is up and running. Next, we will try to push the code into the repository. First, we need to commit. We need to sync the code. Go to the repository. Now all the files are uploaded. Next, we will set up CI/CD pipeline. Go to Azure DevOps portal. In the left menu, you can see the pipelines. For creating the pipeline, we have different options are available. So we are going to use classic editor. First, we need to select the source. In our case, it's Azure Git repository. Then we need to select the project, repository, and the branch. Then click continue. We are going to use empty job. You can see the agent job. There we need to provide a name. We need to select agent pool and we need to specify agent specification. We need to add multiple tasks for completing our pipeline. First, we need to add Node.js tool. We need to specify the version. Next, we need to add npm task. We need to give package.json file path. This task is used for installing the packages. We need to add one more npm task. In this task, we are using custom commands. We need to specify package.json file path. We need to provide the command with the argument. This task is used for building Angular. Next, we need to copy file from published folder. For that, we are going to use copy file task. We need to specify the source folder. Then we need to provide the contents. Then we need to provide target folder. If you have any question on source folder, we can try to build the Angular in our local machine. First, we need to stop the ngserve. ng-build. This command is used for building Angular application. You can see the folder path. The same path we are going to use inside the pipeline. Next, we need to publish the build artifacts. For that, we are going to use publish build artifacts task. We need to provide display name, path to publish, and artifacts name. Artifacts name we are given drop. Next, we need to provide artifact publish location. Now, pipeline configuration is completed. Next, we will try to save and queue this pipeline. For time being, I am not giving any comment. Save and run. It will take few minutes to complete the run. Now, job run is completed. We will check each task inside the pipeline. Check out the code from source repository, installing Node, package installation by using npm, building Angular application using npm, copy file from published folder, publishing file to drop folder. Next, we will verify the artifacts. Drop file is created. Under drop file, all the files are available. Next, we need to create a release pipeline for deploying our application into Azure Static Web App. Under pipelines, you can see releases menu. Different types of templates are available for creating release pipeline. We are going to select empty job. First, we need to select artifacts. We will select our artifacts from our build pipeline. Select the project, then the build pipeline name, then the version, then source alias. Click Add. Next, we need to configure the job. We need to add static web app task. We need to provide display name, and then we need to select the working directory. Under the build pipeline, you can see the drop folder. Under the drop folder, you can see all the published files. For time being, we can skip app build and API build. Next, we need to provide static web app API token. For that, we need to log into our Azure portal. Inside the overview page on the top, you can see Manage Deployment Token link. You can see the deployment token. We need to copy this token. We will paste this token here. Our job configuration is completed. We need to save the pipeline. We need to create a release. You can see the pipeline stage, artifacts. You can see the build version as well. Click Create button for creating release. Now release has been created. Release is queued. Now release is started. We will check the logs. Artifact is downloaded, but our static web app deployment is failed. Static web app job is based on Linux machine. By default, our agent job is running Windows machine. We need to change. Edit the pipeline. Under the agent pool, you can see by default it's Windows server. We need to change into Azure pipeline. Now you can see the agent specification. We can see Ubuntu machine. We can save these changes and create new release. Now release is created and deployment is started. It will take few minutes to complete the process. Agent job is completed. We will access our static web app. Site is up and running. For enabling CI/CD, continuous integration and continuous deployment, we need to edit build and release pipeline. In the build pipeline, under Triggers tab, you can see Enable Continuous Integration checkbox. We need to enable this and save. Inside the release pipeline, on top of build artifacts, you can see a trigger icon. Click on that icon. You can see Continuous Deployment Trigger. Enable this and save. This configuration will enable CI/CD for build and release pipeline. Next, we will configure a custom domain for our static web app. We need to purchase a domain. I have already purchased a domain from GoDaddy. Custom domain configuration we can do using Azure portal. Inside the static web app, you can see custom domain link. Click Add button. You can see two options. First one is Azure DNS and the second one is Other DNS. I am going to select custom domain on Other DNS menu. First we will configure with the subdomain. eLearn is our subdomain. Click Next. Next, we need to validate our static web app with the CNAME. For that, we need to copy the default domain name and we need to configure this value inside the DNS provider configuration page. Add new record. Select type as CNAME. Provide the subdomain name. Paste the default domain name and save. It will take few seconds. Now our DNS record has been added. Go back to Azure portal, click add. It will take few seconds. Now our subdomain configuration is completed. Next, we'll try to access our web application using custom domain. Application is loaded by using custom domain. Next, we will try to configure root domain. Add custom domain on other DNS. Enter root domain name. Next, generate code. It will take few seconds. Add new record. Select type as txt. Name we can put at the right. Then we will paste the value. Click save button. DNS record has been added. Now we are going back to Azure portal. Validation is in progress. It will take a while. Next, we need to add CNAME or alias inside DNS record. First, we will copy the default domain name. Go to the domain page. Add new record. Select type as CNAME. Here we can see only CNAME. We are going to select the CNAME @ as name. Then we will paste the value. Then we will save. We won't be able to add @ inside CNAME type. Some domain name provider will allow @ as a CNAME, but GoDaddy won't allow. In that case, what we'll do is we will create a www subdomain. Then we will forward root domain to www subdomain. First, we need to delete the domain because free type only allow 2 custom domains. Add custom domain, provide www subdomain and the root domain. Click next. Copy the default domain name. This name we will use inside DNS configuration page. Go to DNS configuration page. Add new record. Select type as CNAME. Enter subdomain name. Paste default domain name and save. DNS record has been added. Next, we will do forwarding. Click forwarding tab. Add forwarding. Enter domain with the subdomain. Save. Forwarding changes added successfully. Next, we will try to access our application using root domain. I am going to open Firefox. Enter root domain. Now, application is loaded with the subdomain. You can see the www subdomain. Next, we will try to access through Chrome. It's also working fine. I hope everyone understood this session. If you have any question, please put them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.